Welcome to Hops News, the trusted source in beer culture news. Here's your host, Jay Brew.
It's Super Bowl week, and here we are. Probably one of the bigger, is there like a biggest drinking week of the year? Is that the Super Bowl week or 4th of July or maybe the holidays? I don't know, but it's probably got to be a pretty big one. I would imagine the beer sales running into the Super Bowl is probably pretty high. Let's talk Super Bowl this week. Always interesting and fun when you go to gatherings like that at different places to kind of see what their traditions and kind of what they do and what they serve. So figure that'd be a good conversation for tonight leading into the big game on Sunday. Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm probably looking more forward to the halftime show this season than I probably ever had before. So let's talk about it a little bit. But before we get there, let's go check in with the crew. Let's go check in with Hoppy first down there in Orlando. Hoppy, how are things in Orlando? Uh-oh. Do you hear Hoppy?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes, we can.
Okay, my kids are still talking, so I muted it and completely forgot.
Well, you looked good talking about the beer. Maybe we can go back to you again. Tell us about that beer you're drinking.
So I'm drinking Neural Glide IPA from Cerebral Brewing, which I think is in Colorado. So this is one we got at a local bottle shop. So it's got Mosaic, Simcoe, and Strata hops. It's 7.3%. It's pretty damn delicious. So
nice.
I love the local bottle shops. But what I do have ready here for when I open my next beer, I have 2 beer glasses. This one went through the dishwasher, and this one was properly beer clean washed. And if you caught our episode last week, we were wondering if there actually is any difference between putting it in the dishwasher versus hand washing it. So when I open my next beer, I will pour them both in. They both have been rinsed just now, and I will test the theory to see if it matters at all.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to do a live testing then. That's good.
Well, I wasn't
live
planning
science
on doing,
experiment.
It wasn't going to be live, and I had 2 other glasses that I actually filmed myself speed washing and putting the one in the dishwasher, and then my son broke one of those, so I wasn't going to do all that again. So
Next
that's
time.
why we're doing it live now. Yep.
Yeah, next time. Good, and we also have a meatball video of you, right?
Yes, Hop Baron's Meatball Sub videos in Dropbox.
Nice. We're actually going to play it at some point during the episode, so I've got that queued up, ready to go as well, and I'm sure we'll put it out there on one of the talks or something coming up as well. How's the weather down there in Orlando?
It's still cold. I don't know why it's still cold. It's terrible, but it's sunny at least, so that's good.
Nice. Yeah, it's been, today was the nicest day in a couple of weeks. It got up to about 65 up here, but I'm looking forward to the summer weather for sure.
Well, I mean, tomorrow's a high of 79. But it's
Nice.
cold.
Nice. Yeah, it won't be that warm up here for a couple of months probably. It's
like what Patrick said when he posted the thing. That's when it gets to, what did he say? When it gets to 0 in Miami, everybody dies. It's like the iguanas. Are you familiar with the iguanas when it gets cold?
Yeah, when they like freeze and fall out of the trees.
Yeah, it's really funny though if you watch it. Like they just completely fall and then they like lay with like their little claws up, and one year some guy collected a bunch of them because they're invasive down there. So he thought he was doing like a good thing, and then as the truck warmed up, the iguanas warmed up and they came to life, and it freaked him out.
Yeah. Yeah, having a truck full of what you thought was dead iguanas, and then all of a sudden turn into, and they're not. I will tell you, iguanas, if you've not been around them, they're aggressive. Like they're like a stray dog sometimes.
Well, they're skittish too, and they'll like and some of them get pretty big. But my son growls at them. He likes to think they're dinosaurs, and he just growls at them.
I'll never forget, my wife tried to chase, or thought she was going to chase one away down in St. Thomas. It was headed after a bunch of young chickens, and she thought she was going to chase it away, got out of the truck and ran up there to chase it away, and that damn thing chased her all the way back to the truck.
Oh, wow. Maybe because in St. Thomas they eat them, so they're probably like out for it's a run or be eaten. Here in Florida, as far as I know, I don't know anybody who eats them, but they eat gator. I don't see what the hell is the difference.
Yeah, somebody's eating them for sure. Good. Looking forward to hearing your Super Bowl traditions and what your plans are. So thanks for joining us, Hoppy. We'll go. Let's go check in with Matt. Matt had some technical difficulties to start the show. Oh, my goodness. We had him back for a minute. Matt's still dead in the water. Matt, work on your issues. See if you can't get us back.
Work on your issues.
We'll come back here to the three screens. I will tell you, so if you followed our TikTok and our Instagram lately, you will see that I'm getting kind of settled into the Virginia Beach area, right? Like I feel like at times I can leave the office before it's 10 o'clock now and go out and explore a little bit. And I'm trying to drink my way around the breweries that are near the ocean front, like prior to. I think we can hear your computer mic. So I'm trying to drink my way around the breweries that are near the ocean front before the weather warms up and before the tourists arrive, right? Like before the beach busy season kicks off, I'm like concentrating on hitting all the breweries that are near the ocean front so I don't have to fight the traffic or anything like that before I venture into the breweries that are more inland and in the Norfolk area. This past weekend, I went to an interesting one, was told about it at work. Commonwealth Brewing. It's a little bit near the ocean front. This was a beer that they didn't have on tap. They call it Body by Victoria, and it is... That's
a perfume it's a whole line at Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, it's a Vic Secret and Mosaic double dry hopped double IPA. And I will tell you right now, it is they do some great beer. I mean, you can see the color, it is just a phenomenal IPA. And they do a lot of good things there. I don't know, the way I've kind of approached this drink around Virginia Beach is I just walk up to the bar and my first thing I order is like, give me a flight of your most popular, like, shine, show me what you got type order, and they always are happy, and some of them are like, these guys were one of them, like everything we do is really good, And the flight that I had there was 6, and I believe it was 5-ounce pour, so it was a pretty hefty flight. Didn't really have a chance to drink another pint or two afterwards, like I like to do after you pick one of them. But I told him before I left, when I took the flight, I said, "Go ahead and pick out a mix of 4-pack. I'm going to take that with me." And this is one of them that was thrown in there. And I will tell you what, it's it might be the best one that I've drank of a double IPA since I've been here.
It looks very hazy, very juicy.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. A lot of good breweries in the area. I've been kind of surprised, to be honest with you. I didn't realize the beer scene in Virginia Beach was like it is. And I really, outside of maybe these guys and Reaver Beach and Young Veterans, I really haven't hit like the big ones, like the Vale and some of those in the Norfolk area that, are really pretty well known on the East Coast. So I'm kind of excited to hit those guys up as well.
Yeah, for sure. I do notice you're at the more than one a day, it seems like. Living the dream.
Yeah, I think it was Saturday, right? You got to take advantage of it when there's so many brewers in the area that you're trying to get knocked out. Like, because we've never lived in an area where there's like a large number of breweries in the easy drivable area, right? Like the high country of North Carolina, there's 4 of them within an hour. So having all these here, I want to make sure that I visit them all, just so when people talk about them, especially, kind of working in the industry, at least you're a little bit informed and can say, yeah, these guys, you want to go to these guys or those guys. And obviously with the Virginia Beach Hops News event coming on, I want to be able to make some informed decisions. I think we've got a pretty good list built out so far. I've got I think I have some good ideas of what the other ones are going to be that we fill in that day with, but I don't want to take anybody to a brewery that I haven't been to, because nothing but bad can come out of that, right? Like, We're going to go spend an hour there and the beer is shitty.
Well, sometimes you learn the hard way. And sometimes there's places that they have really good beer one day and they have shitty beer the next day. Mm-hmm. Like there's one brewery here that like Josh is not a fan of, but I used to do the run nights. And on the run nights was the same night they would release small batches, and the small batches were always really good. And then he would go on like a weekend and the small batches would be gone. And he's like, oh, they just have the same 5 beers all the time, and I'm not a fan of those. So...
Yeah, and you guys probably even know this a little bit down there. There's a lot of breweries that have like multiple locations in areas now. Like there's, Reaver Beach is one of them. The location I went to was more like a satellite, like just a tap room location. So they have their cores on tap, but don't have a big, small batch selection. Their cores were pretty good, but I'm definitely looking forward to trying out their small batch stuff, because people rave about Reaver Beach. I just didn't have that experience with their core beer. So looking forward to trying that and venturing up to their main location there. But it's interesting how that happens. And obviously beer releases are always big. And usually if it's a release beer that they turn into an event, you can usually count on it being pretty good. So... yeah, it's been fun. I drank way too much beer than I've needed to over the past couple of weeks, but it's been a good time.
Yeah. Well, it seems like with core beers, a lot of times they have to accommodate somewhat of the masses, and those small batch ones are the ones that like the few beer geeks really, flock to.
Well, core beers pay the bills. Those small batch beers usually aren't as profitable as some of the core beers, so... Yep, 100%. Core beers are usually much more approachable, like you said, by the general beer drinking demographic. So it's just interesting the difference you see in a lot of those locations like that. But it's been fun. I like beer. I've just never lived in an area where there's a good concentration of breweries. So it's been an enjoyable experience. The interesting thing is here. In this area, you can have dogs inside of the brewery. Like in North Carolina, that wasn't a thing. If they had if they were serving beer and producing it there, they didn't allow dogs inside of the facility. So it's been kind of interesting to just see the difference. And from my understanding, that's kind of new up here. I think within the past year that they've allowed that. So obviously in the wintertime, it's kind of a lot like down there, right? Like people are bundled up when it's 60 degrees out. And at the brewery today, I'm like, hey, for shift beer, we're going to go sit outside at a picnic table. It's damn 65 degrees out. Let's go enjoy it. So it's been interesting, but a lot of good beer up here. A lot better beer up here than I ever anticipated being up here.
Nice. Yeah, we had a thing. I don't know if it got changed, but they made it so that dogs weren't allowed inside breweries because they were considering beer food. And so a lot of places started having, outdoor patio areas that you could still have your dog outside. But then people were like losing their minds and signing petitions. So I don't know if it got changed because we don't have dogs anymore. And when we did, they were not the type of dogs that you bring to a brewery. But yeah, Malachi was a 100-pound boxer and we couldn't get him fixed because he was like allergic to the anesthesia. And the 45-pound Australian Shepherd Lab thought that she was bigger than him, and like she would start fights that he had to finish. So they weren't dogs that went places, but they both passed. Now it's been at least 2 years since Mal passed. But I know a lot of people are very upset because a lot of people bring their dogs to breweries.
Yeah. I was surprised at the numbers that I would see in here, but there's been some good ones, and I don't remember all of them right offhand, but. There's definitely some interesting ones. If anybody ever travels to the area and wants some tips or that sort of thing, don't hesitate to reach out to us on the social medias. I'll give you some guidance. It's kind of what I found interesting about this location was I expected more of them to have something involving food, even if it's just a food truck. But that's not the case, really. I think more often than not, I have been to a brewery that doesn't have any food options at all.
Can you order in? Do they have menus from local restaurants at least?
I don't know. I would imagine you could, right? Like Uber Eats or anything like that. I mean, I don't think any place is going to tell you no, but the convenience, right? Like part of I mean, just coming from where we came from and kind of being in the beer industry, it was just one of those things. Like if you're going to do beer nowadays, you've got to have a food option on site. Like you're just not,
or something accessible.
Yeah, a food truck or, something like that, or a schedule, a rotation, just to keep people there and allow them to say, hey, we can go to that brewery and eat dinner and drink their beer type of situation. So I found that a little bit interesting. Even food truck rotations, right? I enjoy breweries that kind of do the whole every night of the week we're going to have a different food truck, or maybe we have 2 or 3 on some nights, and I'm just surprised that isn't a thing with a handful of them around here. But the one I was at today, Vibrant Shore Brewing, they had a little sushi truck. I don't even think it was a truck. I think it was a trailer out front of their location, and that thing was jammed up with a line. So it's interesting. I had their pork ramen bowl, which is, if I see pork ramen on the menu anywhere I go, that's usually what I'm going to get. And it was pretty tasty coming out of a trailer. So it's been an interesting approach so far.
My one complaint though with the food trucks, I've never had bad food from a food truck. Like they always have great food, but yeah, the schedules aren't always certain. So it's like we've gone to a brewery before being like, oh, they always have that really good German truck. And they're like, oh, they're just not here today. I was like, oh, well, we're hungry and we don't want to start drinking on an empty stomach.
Yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, one of the breweries, I don't recall which one it was. I did take the time because it was just one of those days I didn't have time for lunch. So I did take the time to look at their Facebook or something and seeing that they were supposed to have a food truck there. And you show up there and you're like, man, and I think it was like a street taco truck and just, exactly what you'd have been hoping for all day. And I show up there and I'm like, there's no fucking street taco truck here in sight. And you go up and ask the guy, he's like, nah, they had to cancel tonight. It's like, damn. At least tell somebody.
Yeah, here though, all of a sudden they have popcorn and chips, and they do the gourmet popcorn, which is kind of new. But I know in Boone, it seemed like whenever we went, everywhere served food.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
Blowing Rock is a full-on restaurant, and yeah,
Yeah. And that's what I'm kind of used to, right? Was kind of that experience, but it's just been kind of interesting that the approach here that they've taken has been a little bit different. And Matt, if you can hear me, I'm trying to add you in, but now I'm having problems with your video. So your video for some reason isn't coming through now. There he goes. Now we can see him. Can we hear him?
yes.
Hey, hold on a second. Hold on, let me bring you on. I don't think everybody else can hear you. Hey, there
Hi.
he is. Matt in Mountain Home, Idaho. Matt, you finally got it working. What'd you have to do? Restart that?
I restarted it. I cussed at it a bunch. I kicked some things around. I tossed Baby Yoda a little bit.
Did you
And,
ground any of your kids? Did that work?
No, I stepped out there and they like swarmed me real quick and said that they're Hulk, and I was like, "Get away from me, bastards!" Pow! But, be gone, peasants.
That's awesome. Well, you came in just in time. We were getting ready to switch up and start talking about the Super Bowl. But before we talk about the Super Bowl, how are things in Idaho? Snowed in?
Man, no, it's been 40s. I'll be snowed in this weekend. Maybe I'm going snowmobiling in Yellowstone, leaving Saturday morning and coming back Monday. So that'll be an adventure. But here, there's no snow. It's like 40 degrees, getting warmer. Days are getting longer. We get sunlight till like it's after 6, so there's still sun outside. So it's not so bad, man. It's just windy as always.
Yeah, we're kind of, I hate to say we're kind of at the tail end of it because February and March can kind of still be a bear. But hopefully, knock on wood, things start to warm up a little bit.
If it stays in like the 50s, that's the peak ideal weather for me, man. I don't need it to be too cold. I don't need to be hot, but it's supposed to be like 30 degrees with a low of 8 in Yellowstone, which is abnormally warm for this time of year because typically it's like negative 30 and tons of snow. So we'll see how it is this weekend.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be a good time. I think you in one of the episodes early when we got started with this, you like joined us from there, right?
Yeah, so we've gone every year actually. So it was actually like our third episode, I think it was. I joined, and that's when we had Marcus on, I think, from Weathered Souls, because Marcus was on and somebody else's, we had
Brewich?
well, somebody else was on, but no. I forget who it was. Anyways, yeah, I was in Yellowstone then. So, and then we went last year again a couple times, and then I'll be there snowmobiling this time. Paid like the base does this cool trip to where I had to wait out there for like 4 hours to get in line to get a ticket for, or not even like a spot, and I ended up getting a spot. We got a kid-free weekend. We're gonna like all day Sunday. We're pretty much leaving at 7 a.m. Sunday to snowmobile, get back at like 4 o'clock, and then we'll watch the Super Bowl from a bar where we both can just drink, and then we don't even have to drive ourselves back the next day. We can be hungover as shit just because they're bussing us to and from the place.
Overnight some vitamins.
But I am drinking a beer real quick before I forget. It's by Great South Bay. It's called Saved by the Beer, a pineapple New England IPA, 7.7%. It is brewed with pineapple, citra, mosaic, malts. They use Pilsner, malted wheat, flaked oats. There's
nice.
the beer. And there's some nice little, turn the light on it, get a little light action on it. It looks like a glass of orange juice.
Nice.
And yeah, that's it. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked, man. It's going to be, I've never seen Yellowstone in the winter, and it's only very, very few people get to go in the park in the wintertime because it's pretty much closed down. So it's it's pretty much like a bucket list, once in a lifetime kind of a thing. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, there's definitely worse things in life than snowmobiling at Yellowstone, I'm sure.
Well, without a doubt. And like I said, it's like I got in line at 3:30 and there were already 12 people ahead of me. And then like there was hundreds of people in line, and they had to cut it off because there's only X amount of, spots. And we're staying at the Holiday Inn, I think it is, which is one of the nicest Holiday Inns that they have in the country out in West Yellowstone. And they got a bunch of restaurants are still open there in West Yellowstone, and food. So it'd be nice to be able to explore without dragging kids along, and then just kind of Carrie's birthday was yesterday. So it's kind of like a getaway for the two of us.
Hey, if you see Beth Dutton, smack her on the ass for me, will you?
I don't even know who the hell that is.
Oh, okay.
But sure, I'll just yell her name. If somebody's like, that's me, I'll be like, here you go. This is from Jay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's good to get you worked out there. Let's go back to all of us now that we have Matt there in the room. Let's talk Super Bowl, right? Like the Super Bowl's coming up. If you're comparing drinking weekends across the year, where does the Super Bowl fit in for you guys?
I mean, we usually have to work the next day, right? So it's not as big. But I mean,
called out day though.
It really is. I don't know why they don't just make it either on a Saturday or make the next day a holiday kind of deal.
Right.
But I think it depends on who's playing for me personally. Because if I'm something really invested in it, then yeah, I'm going to drink a lot of beers. Like this weekend, definitely. Last year I was in Vegas and I definitely drank a lot of beers. But I wouldn't say I would say July 4th, maybe Thanksgiving, maybe Halloween are bigger for me personally.
How about you, Lauren?
I mean, normally we're not this year. Somebody mentioned doing a tasting, but I don't think we're actually doing one this year. But usually we do a tasting, and it's just a drinking event. But a majority of us are Dolphins fans, and the Dolphins haven't been in the Super Bowl since like the 90s. So everybody shows up wearing, I think the joke was one year it looked like the Dolphins were playing UCF because everybody was wearing Dolphins and UCF stuff, and I had the kids in UM stuff. So it's really just more of a get together, hang out, and usually do a beer share.
Yeah.
But this year I'm hosting one of the Girls Pine Out events Saturday, so I'll be drinking all day Saturday there. And Josh is flying out of town Sunday morning, so I think I'm just gonna watch the Super Bowl.
Where's he
with
going?
the kids, and he's going to another convention in Texas, but he'll be in the Dallas area.
I'm gonna miss him barely.
Some of the breweries, yeah. So he's busy working. So I think Sunday I'll probably just be a little hungover and drink by myself with the kids.
Yeah.
You got kids? Don't worry. You'll be drinking with the kids.
I mean, I'm not gonna be driving with the kids.
I think so. The Super Bowl for me used to be like a big deal, right? Like it was probably single day, probably one of the biggest beer drinking days of the year for me. As a matter of fact, Matt, I think the last time Green Bay won it, a buddy of mine, what year was that, Matt?
2010. It was 2010.
Yes. So our daughter was just born, a baby. We had a changing table. I think I've probably shown this
Turned
picture
into
before.
A bar.
Yeah, I think I've probably shown this picture. As a matter of fact, I when I went and picked up the mini keg, I found a mini keg of Hop Slam in 2010, which, if anybody knows, is not an easy task even today. Found a keg of mini slam and put that damn thing in the refrigerator and saved it for the Super Bowl. And me and a buddy, like two of us, drained that fucking thing before the game was over. Before he left that night, I've got pictures of him laying on there, and he's a big dude. He's like a 6'3", 6'4" guy laying on that changing table asking me to change his diaper.
As the whole thing collapses.
Yeah. That was a rough next day. I'll be honest with you, I don't know that I've been that intoxicated since that day. That was a big beer drinking day, but yeah, the Super Bowl, I mean, unless you really have a dog in the fight, it just isn't the same, right?
And I've never had a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry. I've had a dog in the fight twice in my life, one of which I was only 7 years old, so it doesn't really count.
Well, yeah, I didn't really care when Dan Marino, the only thing I cared about with Dan Marino was that he was in Ace Ventura. But it's funny, though, because, when we go to the Dolphins games or when the Dolphins are playing, like when we were in Jamaica, we were all watching the Dolphins game because we all grew up in South Florida. And the song is when when you say, thinking Miami Dolphins, you're talking Super Bowl because we're the Miami Dolphins. And it's like, nobody's talking Super Bowl about the Miami Dolphins.
No.
They did in the 70s, I heard.
Cowboys fans still, talk about their Super Bowl wins in the 90s and all that, and it's been since 96. The Jags have won more playoff games than the Cowboys have.
It's so crazy. Well, like even with UM, it's like I grew up with them being amazing, and they won my senior year of high school and the year I was born, and They've won 5 times, and like Josh said something recently. He's like, "Yeah, UM hasn't won in 20 years." I'm like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah.
Time flies when you're getting your heart broken.
Yeah, yeah. As a
when
Lions
you're
fan, we
grown
never
up.
even have to worry about it, nor will we ever worry about it. So
I'm tired, man. Look, I'm so tired of being hyped up as the 1 seed, so hyped of getting to the championship game, and then every year it's the same thing. It takes a toll on you after a while. It does.
Well, see,
It's exhausting.
well, Lions fans usually by default are Green Bay fans, just so we have a team to root for.
That's true.
So
I
I mean,
yeah.
at least you guys are there every decade.
Yeah, I mean, maybe next year's our year. It's been over a decade since the last. Who knows? Every 15 years, maybe that's just how it goes. So 2025 will be the next one. But yeah, I think more about the Super Bowl for me. It's more about getting together with everybody and like the food, because I just love to pair either like wash down some nachos or whatever everybody's making, like the dips and the beer cheese and what have you.
yeah, buffalo
That's
chicken.
what it's all about.
Yeah, yeah. That's an interesting perspective because that's a good segue to the Meatball Sub. Let's go check out the Meatball Sub
Ooh,
real quick.
it's
Let's
a
check out.
spicy meatball.
Yeah,
Should I
let's.
set it up real quick? Like, I hate cooking, and so this is a really easy, really basic recipe, and it's delicious. That's it.
That's
That's
a
all I
great
got.
segue. That's a great. I thought you were going to have something so poetic. That's a great.
Well, my
segue.
grandmother who grew up on a farm.
That is a great segue. Let's go
This
check
isn't
out the.
Pinterest.
Yeah, let's go check out the Subway or the Meatball Sub Subway.
First thing we do, open a beer. I went with a double IPA from Civil Society Brewing in Jupiter, Florida. The next thing, we're going to be using the Beyond Meatballs to make our meatball subs. Of course, you can use ground turkey, you can use ground beef, you can use whatever meat you want. The important part is the hot barons. In addition to whatever meat you choose to use and hot barons, you're going to need marinara sauce, shredded cheese, Parmesan cheese, sub bread, and Italian seasoning. So now we're going to do the Hot Barons rub depending on what you like. This is the Badass Barbecue rub by Hot Barons. They also have spicy, they have lemon pepper. It's really just a preference of what you like, but these ones I think are personally the best on the meatballs. If you don't buy the meat already in balls, you can mix the seasoning directly into them, and then you don't have to put seasoning on it midway through cooking. Otherwise, you do have to cook them, flip them, add more seasoning, and put them back in. Once your specific meat is done cooking, then you're going to pull the bread out, put a little bit of marinara sauce on it, add the meat, put some more marinara sauce, and cover it with however much cheese you want, a little bit of Italian seasoning on top, and throw it in the oven for a few more minutes until the cheese is exactly how you like it. Enjoy.
I'm sold.
That looks delicious.
I'm
It is
sold.
delicious. It's very delicious. Yeah, Tillamook cheese is the best.
Love it.
But yeah, if you because we bought the pre-made meatballs again because I hate cooking, so I make it as easy as I can. But if you mix in the stuff, it's then you don't have to add more seasoning halfway through, and then it's more distributed throughout. But that Impossible meat with the hot barons is fantastic.
Ew, gross. Let's not talk about what the meat is, okay? You're gonna ruin a good thing. Let's just not.
Well, I don't remember
That's
what
straight from the
burgers
cow.
taste like, and I've been told that they taste a lot like burgers.
That's fair.
Pretty close. So, what's your Super Bowl fare outside of the beer aspect? What's your Super Bowl menu look like?
Buffalo chicken dip from Publix.
From
Oh, you got to make it on your own. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? You got to home make that bad boy. Let it sit in the crock pot.
Josh.
Oh
I
yes,
don't like cooking. I hate cooking. I really hate it.
it's so much fun. You feel like a scientist. That's why I like
No.
brewing too, because like when you brew, you're like a scientist.
Brewing was rough for me, and I think that's why I haven't got I want to get back to it, but more so for like the learning aspect. And like I wanted Kaylee to do it with me because my daughter's really good at cooking. Like she made the beer cheese soup. The beer cheese soup that actually took effort and took time, but that is fantastic. But I need somebody else to brew with me. I'm not good in the kitchen. I get bored. I don't know.
Well, I hear that
That's crazy.
Our first group beer brewing experience might be at Common Law in
Yeah?
July.
July, the weekend of the 16th.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Is that a for sure thing, Matt? Is that like in stone?
It's Brad and Mark have it down in stone. I've actually gotten a lot of feedback from a lot of like Robbie has said that he's probably going to be there. Micah sounds like he's going to try to get there. Corey's going to be there. Obviously, Brad's going to be there. It seems like there's a really good, like I've even talked to Dustin and Chris from Bottle Share. Like they're looking at probably coming out. The Hot Barons crew, I hit them up. I was like, since we always work with them and, do our segments, and they're like, you know what, this is something I think we can make happen. So Hot Barons might even be there as well. And it just might be one giant, we might be getting a party bus, and it just might devolve into some debauchery, like next level.
Yeah.
I'll bring the vitamins.
Yeah.
We're all going to die.
For sure.
I'll have vitamins and fig bars in my purse, guys.
Gonna need to swing by like Waffle House.
So like, I know the deal with the vitamins. What's up with the fig bars?
Fig bars, I always have a fig bar in my purse, usually more than one when I go to breweries, because it's a healthy snack that's actually pretty filling for how tiny it is. So like we've been at a brewery and we're like, we'll have one beer and then we're going to go get food and then we'll run into somebody or we want to have another. So I shovel a fig bar into my mouth real quick. They're not great. They don't taste fantastic. But like when we went,
that's why you got to go to Waffle House.
But I travel with them too. Like when we travel and Josh got his suitcase, he had to like open it up and inspect it. He's like, it's because you put the damn fig bars in here, because he had a box of fig bars.
Nice. Yeah, so the common law thing, just to give everybody a heads up, right now the loose agenda, right, is like a meet and greet Friday at Common Law. Just get there when you can, drink some beer. I think we're planning to do a brew, like a brew day with the Common Law Brewery guys, brewers at the brewery Saturday morning. Maybe some sort of bottle share around midday, maybe on site, maybe off site. I'm not sure. We haven't talked to Brad and the crew about that yet, but maybe some sort of bottle share where everybody brings something from their area, kind of just shares it amongst everybody. And then, I mean, we got to do all we can to kick some kegs at Common Law Saturday afternoon and evening. So loose schedule Sunday obviously will kind of be on everybody's own, because I think there's people that are going to drive in, but we'll probably grab some brunch somewhere and maybe beat the dog with a mimosa or a Bloody Mary of some type. So it'll be an event. I can promise you right now. It's going to be wild for sure, and there will be some happy hour vitamins that will be consumed. Otherwise, you might not make it.
I'm gonna probably die. Like you're gonna lose me at some point that night, because what always happens is I start drinking too much and then I just disappear.
Oh my gosh,
that's kind of how that goes.
You're one of those guys.
I get real adventurous.
Maybe you and Josh will disappear together.
But it's exciting. Yeah, we're gonna go on an unexpected journey, like The Hobbit.
Yeah, but then one time Josh did that to me, he didn't remember his journey. I was like, "Where did you go?" He's like, "I don't know."
That's the best kind of journeys. We're gonna do a Harold and Kumar, go to White Castle, take 2.
I hope
it's
Neil
Matt
Patrick
and Josh
Harris
go to Waffle House.
That could turn into some OnlyFriends material right there.
OnlyFriends.
It's OnlyFriends
or OnlyFans.
I will say that Bearded, like
where are you guys at?
Bearded Iris follows us on TikTok, so I'm sure like I could even hook up something where we swing through there with their guys and maybe get a little tour in Southern Grist as well. Like
the Thor one. What's the Thor one? Huh? Asgard Brewing is there. Is that what it is? Corey talks about them pretty often. I think maybe soon before the opening of Common Law, we'll have to have Brad and Mark maybe come on and discuss the opening and what they all have going on, and then kind of discuss further. But I was looking at hotels, and there's a lot of reasonable price hotels right in Spring Hill, which is where the brewery's going to be. So I mean, everything for like a 3-night stay, it's only a couple $100, and that's if you get one room.
Yeah. I think it'll be a great time. Definitely, if you're one of the ones that are planning to stay 2 or 3 nights, there's going to be a lot of great breweries that you can visit in the Nashville area outside of just that. Unfortunately, I'll be one of the ones that we come in Friday night and leave Sunday. But if you can make it a Sunday trip as well, there's a lot of great breweries, and you guys named a lot of those, and we've had a lot of their products. So a lot of good breweries in Nashville. And if I'm not mistaken, it sounds like Corey might have a line on like a trolley that runs.
Yeah, he was mentioning something about a trolley in Nashville that goes. There's like a beer trolley or something.
Yeah.
Let me. I'll do some digging real quick while we chat.
Yeah, that's that'll be a good trip, and if nothing more, I'm just excited to go support Brad in their grand opening because this has been. If there's a group of guys that have tried to open a brewery at literally the worst time ever, these guys dealing with the pandemic and everything that's gone on with that, and trying to find a place and all of that stuff. Definitely looking forward to supporting those guys in their grand opening. Wish we could be there their official grand opening day of April, but obviously there's a lot of us that have things going on at that time, so we're just not able to make that time. But mid-July, put it on the calendar, save the date. July 16th, was it, Matt?
Yep.
July 16th, that weekend. Plan to get there Friday evening-ish. We'll drink beer, have a good time. But Saturday, just send your liver a warning order. Like, you're fucking going to get destroyed Saturday. Because Saturday will be a good time. I would imagine that is going to be a blast. And then obviously into Sunday. So this is something that we've literally been planning or anticipating for, what, damn near 3 years, 2.5 years?
I mean, we've been doing this podcast 2 years in April, and pretty much ever since then, it's been something that's happening, you know?
Fucking crazy. It'll be wild to finally get together for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So
Especially
one day we
if
need to do a meetup. Especially if what?
I was just saying, like, for the first time, potentially, you know, we all get in a room together, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But one day I'd like to do an event in Orlando where we drink around the world.
Yeah.
Yes. You won't have to twist our arm too much because my daughter is chomping at the bit to go to Disney. So
I'm trying to convince
sure.
Carrie to go down to Disney again. I'm like, we going to Disney this year? Like, what's happening? Are we going to go around Christmas time? Like, what's the plan here?
It is nice around Christmas, but you got to come when the kids aren't in school or are in school. Otherwise, it's just crazy.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, and the prices go up too.
Yep.
All right, well, I'm about to open another beer to test these glasses.
Let's do it. Let's go check in with Hoppy with her official or Lauren with her official scientific experiment.
Oh.
This is all off the Cicerone beer server.
Cicerone.
So, if you did listen last week, this is the one I dropped earlier. I'm making a TikTok. Hopefully, it doesn't explode. Whew, okay. So last week we were debating on whether or not it was still beer clean if you put it in a dishwasher because breweries and restaurants put their beer glasses in dishwashers. The only thing I was concerned about is if you're doing it at home, there's still food particles that could get on the glass because the recommendations for actual beer clean is that you use a separate sponge that doesn't touch your food dishes. And yes, I do have a separate sponge, and my mom told my daughter that I had officially lost it. But you want to wash it to be beer clean. You wash it with a separate clean sponge, and then you want to let it air dry. And obviously, it needs to be on a drying rack too. You don't want it to not have air. So let's see. This one was beer clean with a sponge, and always use all natural cleaning soap or whatever. So this one was beer. This is obviously very beer clean. There's no bubbles sticking to it. It has a nice little head still there, so that looks beer clean. This one went into the dishwasher. I marked it, and it looks about the same. Well, there's some bubbles still. This is still bubbling, but they're not sticking to the glass. But that doesn't mean, like, I don't know. I might have to do further research. So this one, I don't know if you can see. It still has bubbles going up like a Pilsner would have, which you can't really see on the video. This one does not at all. Oh, it does a little. No, they're the same. All right, guys, feel free to put your glasses in the dishwasher. They still come out beer clean. However, if you have artwork, like anything from like glass to mouth or anything, don't put that in the dishwasher because it will get ruined. But it looks like it's still clean. I did use all natural dish soap and the natural dishwasher soap. So, cheers, enjoy.
Wait a minute. Did you say what I thought you said?
I don't know, what did I say?
Was that
Like a
something to mouth.
Oh,
Ass to
glass to
mouth.
mouth.
Oh, glass
No,
to
I said
mouth.
glass to
They have
mouth.
some really good glasses.
Yeah. My focus was diverted just for a second when I came back.
Glass
I'm
to
like,
mouth.
wait a minute.
Great on the rim jobs.
Like this is glass to mouth. So that is what I said. I thought you were talking about the soap. I'm like, what? The all natural soap? Is that what you're confused about?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, that is interesting, right? Because Lauren's been like the advocate, like you got to wash with the soap and the sink and the sponge.
Did you ever install your little rinser yet?
No, my rinser has not been installed yet.
Ah, see. Uh-oh.
This is interesting. we might have
Josh
some.
just walked by.
Yeah. We might
say what?
we might see some more content from Lauren on the actual scientific specifics behind this, because she's kind of been an advocate. She's like out of the group of us that are on the show regular, she's like the one that's like, you've got to clean glasses this way to drink beer out of them. I'm like, fucking shove them in the dishwasher, or rinse them out.
I always put them in the dishwasher and then I rinse them out. That's what I do all the time.
I'll be honest with you. So this glass I pulled out of the dishwasher tonight. I will rinse it out for a week and just stick it back in the cupboard before it goes back in the dishwasher again.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
look
you
at this.
really
right?
just want to
That's
look for
fine.
the bubbles. As long as the bubbles aren't sticking to the glass, because the carbonation sticks to dust and dirt. So as long as there's not bubbles sticking to it, it's fine. And if you have a little, like,
I just want
We
to
were-
comment. We are drinking some fantastic looking beer tonight as a group. Look
Yeah,
at
I
the
mean,
colors
this is
of those
some
beers.
colors.
Yeah.
I got some pineapple juice over here. Give me the Southern
Man.
Comfort to add on to this bad boy.
yeah, this is the wet hop
Man, that's
triple.
ooh.
Nice. Yeah, I will tell you the one of the things I'm looking forward to the common law event is kind of the bottle share, right? Because like all of us are coming from all corners of the fucking country. We're gonna drink some good beer that night. It's gonna be a rough Sunday morning or Saturday morning.
We might have to find, like, if we get a few minutes to maybe do a little live with all of us, around one table, maybe get like 30 minutes potentially to do a live quick recording, because that's got to be something, just to say we've done it. And then also like live from the brewery. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we will definitely fit that
finally.
in. Yeah, maybe a time or two, maybe like a Friday evening or and a Saturday or something. But
then
and
record
maybe
the
even like a
aftermath.
Sunday, at brunch, like
And then
everybody
delete it.
fucking hungover. Yeah, that'll be a good time. I'm definitely looking forward to that. We're doing that July 16th, the weekend before Memorial Day in May. We'll be here at Virginia Beach. If anybody's interested, there's information there on the Hops News. I think we have events posted for all of them, right, on the Facebook. Matt, have you posted the one for July yet?
I put it in the Hops News family that this was happening, but I haven't made like the event yet. So would the event, would we put it on our actual Facebook, or do you want to just put it in the family?
Yeah, on
So
the
we put
actual
on that.
Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll
Okay.
create the actual event for the Facebook to put out. So if anybody happens to be listening, is like, hey, this sounds like a cool time. Let's go hang out with some cool people. Yeah, let's do it, and I'll publish the event.
Yeah, for sure. And check them out. Stay in touch. You can say that you're joining there, and you'll stay in touch with all the information that's going to be put out on that event. We'll update agendas and those sorts of things, and get information. It'll be a good time. I can promise you that. I'm looking forward to the crew being at one location together for finally, after about 2 years of trying to get this thing going.
Look, hopefully, man. Anyways, if not, I'm gonna be like sad. I'm tired of things
Canceling.
not actually going. Like, yeah, it's just been 3 years going on now of this. So like, this is the shining light right now. So let's make it happen. And I hope to see as many people there as we can, because that would be kind of just fun.
Yeah.
We've been putting in the work for the last few years, so to see it kind of all come together would be, it's like our Avengers level event, right? It all finally comes together after we build up a bunch
Yeah.
of movies.
It's like
Yeah.
2012 all over again.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what's interesting is there's a lot of people that's obviously went back to kind of remote working again because of the rash with the COVID uptick again. But I'm hearing now, like, everybody's had it within the past month, so they're like, fuck it, let's just go back to work and do what we need to do.
I'm
Everybody's
hoping
still
it stays
alive.
virtual just so I don't have to go down to Texas for a month. But so if it wants to stay virtual for that, I'm fine. But after
Why
that,
wouldn't
yeah,
you
like,
want to go to Texas for a month?
Because then you got to go, like, it's fun for 5 days, and then you can't say goodnight to your kids every day. It's being away from the fam, and Carrie's in school, and so it's kind of just easier. Would I love to go to Texas for a month to go to a bunch of breweries? Yeah, but just not a right time. And also, Texas is just a mess right now, anyways.
They're
Is
always
it?
a mess.
Yeah.
Don't mess
Yeah,
with
they are.
Texas.
It's like the Wild West out there still.
It's like Florida.
Ted Cruz is on his way to Cancun or whatever. The rest of Texas is just burning and freezing and whatever else is happening there.
Yeah. Let's go check in with Mash, close this thing out. Matt, what do we had to look forward to, and what's your parting shots? Who's your Super Bowl pick?
Oh, man, I love Joe Burrow. I'm going Bengals. I might have just given them the kiss of death, but I am taking the Bengals 34-27. Going to be a close game. I just love the Bengals, and I love Joe Burrow, man. That guy is awesome. And then what we have going with Geeks, I mean, follow us on TikTok. Search us there. We're doing a lot of just goofy-ass things. Follow us Twitter, Instagram, Hops Geek News. And then we're recording right after this. We are doing our Valentine's Day episode. So favorite like comic book couples, things like that. So it's going to be a good time. We got that going up. And then we have a pretty big interview coming next week with one of the editors is from Marvel Comics and things like that. So a lot of big exciting things. And yeah, peep us.
Awesome. Glad you got it worked out over there, Matt.
Eventually. We got there eventually.
Thanks for joining us. Hoppy, parting shots, and what do we had to look forward to?
Parting shots, I don't care who wins. I guess if I had to pick one, I'd say Bengals because that was the mascot at my high school. And Matt summed up Geeks. So make good choices. Go ahead and preemptively take Monday off. It's the most called out day anyways. And enjoy.
I'm off Monday anyways. Shit, that's right. I totally forgot. Hell yeah, that worked out.
And I am looking forward to the halftime show. And because this is old school. I have the CD of the halftime show that is going to be playing. I think I still have the CD. I don't know. But the halftime show should be good. But are there any, are we expecting any trailers? Because I remember the first trailer for Avengers, to bring it full
Obi-Wan,
circle, was
maybe.
during the Super Bowl.
Possibly the rumor is Obi-Wan, which is, oh God, don't even get me started. I have so much to say about that on Geeks tonight.
A lot of feelings.
There's a lot of things.
How do you miss the release date by like 4 weeks or 3 weeks? So
Well, they're doing it because it's the 45th anniversary of A New Hope, so it actually makes sense.
Not really. I mean, you
It's
and
more poetic.
you and Lauren know that, but 99.9% of the population that's going to go watch that movie.
Really underestimate the Star Wars nerds.
The geekdom.
There is, it is probably the biggest property out there in existence, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
as far
of
as
course it
sci-fi
is.
and everything
Yeah.
goes. So I mean, because it reaches how it started in the 70s and it's still going on today. So you got to think of how many generations that has built. You know.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. Like, what it'd be cool to be like, what is the most valuable like property, like asset that's
Marvel.
like a movie or like one single thing, like Star Wars
Spider-Man.
or
Right.
that sort of Spider-Man. You think?
Oh my gosh, what Spider-Man just did at the box office this year? Yeah.
Nice.
I say
You guys
if had
need to
pick
cover
one
that.
thing,
Like
it'd be
you're
Spider-Man.
the top.
Yeah.
Do some research and be like the top assets by brand of.
Disney. I mean, Disney owns all of that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they own
Disney
it
owns
all, but
everything.
that's
I thought we
yeah.
had rules against monopolies, but apparently not.
Right. They're
including
gonna buy Monopoly soon.
including ESPN. So imagine that shit.
Yeah.
All right, guys,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, Micah recommended doing an episode on how the purchase of Disney buying these other properties has changed these universes and the geekdom in general.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
whole ball of wax.
Yeah,
Can
definitely.
of worms.
You could do 100 episodes just off that topic alone.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Hey, it's been good. Go check out the Feeling Lucky crew. Obviously, check us out, Hops News. Go check out all of it, all the streaming platforms, all the social medias. We even got some TikTok going on, so go check that out. Hey, appreciate everybody tuning in. Whatever you do, make sure the Super Bowl is safe, right? If you're gonna go out and party, you're gonna go out and drink, have a designated driver. Call Matt; he'll come and pick you up. He's got plenty of aircraft at his. Definitely wear protection because we don't want any others of your kind around in your procreation.
Super Bowl and Valentine's Day are overlapping. So make good choices.
Kids are expensive. Kids are expensive.
So take it for what it's worth. But Lakeland's birthday is Lakeland's birthday is in November. So you go from there and when and where she was conceived. So
I got an October and a December baby. So
yeah.
What does that mean?
New Year's. Actually, I can tell you the day that we conceived Harper was New Year's. So.
Okay. Matt and I both have kids born on the same day.
Nice. That's awesome. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Have a safe and enjoyable Super Bowl. Don't do anything we wouldn't do, and drink lots of beer. Cheers.
Peace, love, and beer.
Cheers. Peace, love, and beer.
All right, guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah. I got there. We're there eventually.
Yep.
All right. All right. Go put your glasses in the dishwasher.
Right. Let me go get another beer, and I'll send you the link.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
You too.